actually, literally, in front of me. Probably wouldn't think about you at all. And I hate that I'm this way. I'll die alone because I am this way. It's too painful for me to pretend that I'm someone that I'm not. It amazes me how much of our society does that. I've always known who I am. Always known that I couldn't be what they wanted me to be. And I love to cook you dinner. I love to cook and clean. I love to blow you under the kitchen table. But I'd have to be an entirely different human being. But I can fantasize about another time when I'm all the things that I am in my mind. And I think that I'm just a lot more aware of what goes on inside my head. People that aren't aware of the danger up there. People that aren't aware of the danger that's up there, well, they're probably dead. Because they took an antidepressant. Or maybe an antipsychotic. I guarantee you they didn't smoke weed. Not to say that people have never done anything crazy smoking weed. I mean, yeah, if it can put you in a state of psychosis, then yeah, people can do crazy shit on weed. But most people that use weed don't do anything but use weed. You know, so you don't really need to worry about them taking an AR-15 into a public school and shooting a bunch of people. Like, literally, any time that somebody tells me, like, oh, I need to be on medication. Like, if a dude tells me that, I'm like, okay, well, just expect that this person is going to be on the news at some point, you know? I actually think that the whole reason why they push medication isn't just to make, like, women lose their empathy and, like, all of the truly feminine qualities that we possess. And any decent psychiatrist will admit this, that this is what happens to women on medication. But with men, I think that they're trying to make white men seem like they're violent. Like, they want to increase their level of violence. Because, you know, we'll never measure up to blacks. You know, we'll never be able to do that. And since they're constantly pushing this black-white narrative, like, white people hate black people, black people can't hate white people because white people are the only ones responsible for hate, even though we're the last race, so that doesn't make any sense. But whatever. This is what we're told to believe, so we believe it. We don't question it. I mean, I'm not saying that white men don't do creepy shit. Yeah, they do. They really do. They stalk a bitch. For whatever reason, a lot of white men think that whoever they're obsessed with is the only woman that exists. I say this a lot. But I wish that everybody would just leave each other alone. But if you have some serious psychological stuff going on that you haven't addressed, like, you're not going to be capable of doing that. You know? That's what people don't understand. The reason why narcissists will never develop self-awareness, first of all, society is cultivating narcissism. Okay? With the technology, like, forget about it. Forget about it. I mean, you already did, right? You already did. So it's just so funny to me to, like, hear people complain about things. It's like, you're responsible for helping this along. You're responsible for pushing this. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, the children not being able to pay attention is all your fault, but how are you contributing to the very thing that is lowering everybody's attention span? I mean, if everybody's doing the same shit, it's like they're fucking complicit. So, I don't know. You just have to be fucking paranoid out the wazoo in order to, like, not go along with things that you don't agree with. But anyway. How did we get off on this fucking tangent? Men! I was a typical woman. But then again, I really don't. Because I'd be addicted to my phone. And I need everyone to validate me. Comes from what a lot of people would consider to be imaginary. How could it possibly be imaginary if I feel him? How could it possibly be imaginary if I could see him and his creation? You have my pity, son. I'll pray for you. Think how boring you have to be to just trust everything on the surface. You just assume that, oh, this is what it is. Because I can see it, I believe it. You don't think that appearances could deceive? That's kind of the point for a lot of it. Because they're banking on the sheep. When do they not bank on the sheep? just Ronit. I highly doubt any other Jews are gonna watch this shit. Ronit's the only one that can handle me. It's funny, people are so anti-Semitic towards her. They really are. Like, they're fucking mean to her. You're not mean to all the other people that act just like Jews. She's one of the few good ones. Because she's broke. That's how you know. I love me some non-stereotypes. I really hate people that act so stereotypical. Because every time you act just like stereotype, you're proving all the people right that talk shit about you. So if you really wanted them to stop doing that, you'd stop reflexively acting just like that. Sometimes the black key works, sometimes it don't. You know, I've noticed when I'm not on drugs, like, it's easier for me to stay on topic. I definitely have noticed that. But I also noticed that when I'm on drugs, like, I really, really, really enjoy, like, whatever I'm doing. Which makes sense, because I'm high, right? Right? That makes sense. But I don't want to rely on anything to get by. Just God, just God, just God. So I've asked for the strength to do what I know I can do. But sometimes it's hard. And some days it's harder than others, you know? Like, you don't expect it to be harder. Like, you're just like, holy shit, I've been doing this. Why is this suddenly so hard? And then other times it's really hard and then suddenly it becomes easy. I don't remember when it was exactly. But it was after I'd been working at Steak and Shake for a minute. And I just, things suddenly started to get easier. And I think it was like I had managed to, like, hit some sort of wall. You know, not just the one that comes from not giving birth, but you know, the wall of, like, okay, I can't go any further with this. I can't go any further with this self-loathing. Like, I'm done hating myself now. I'm gonna start doing things that prove that I'm worth a shit. And I think that for a lot of people, like, they have to just keep going and going and going. And, you know, like this person that I've talked about a lot that I work with who's a narcissist and blah, 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 blah. How many times do we have to talk about this? Well, it's like she went back to the hospital because she's still having heart problems because apparently she started drinking again. And I keep telling her it's the weed because the weed increases your heart problems. It actually makes you more likely to have a heart attack too. And this bitch smokes all the time, dude.
I thought I used to smoke a lot of weed. I ain't got shit on her. Not that I'm, like, judging her or anything. Like, I get it. Like, I wish I could help her because I understand a lot of what she's going through. It's just that I went through all that a lot quicker than she appears to be going through. I don't know. Like, she's in her 30s. She's like 4 years younger than me. So I think she's either 35 or she's gonna be 36 this year. And you know, it's like she's still going through shit that I went through in my mid-20s. But it's like she has a child, though. Technically, she has two because she's taking care of her baby daddy's kid. I mean, she calls him her baby daddy, if that tells you, like, how strong their relationship is, okay? They fight all the time, interracial, whatever. But, yeah, so it's like, I really feel sorry for her. I wish I could do something for her. But what I've tried to do for her, she won't even use the stuff that I gave her to lower her anxiety. It's like, you clearly just want to be pissed off. I mean, I said that to her a couple weeks ago. I was like, you just want to be mad all the time. And she was like, yeah, Amy, I think you're right. So she has enough self-awareness to acknowledge that there are negative qualities about her that she exacerbates by a lot of the things that she keeps doing. But, you know, she's not ready to make the necessary change. And I'm so lucky that I had to have my head stapled back together because that is funny. I need to talk about it on stage. Just like that. Like, maybe people need to have their heads stapled. Or I could say that, oh yeah, it's because I'm a woman. I could say that too. But yeah, I mean, how can an experience like that not humble a person? And it's not as if, like, oh, I did that because, you know, this one night I drank too much vodka and that shit happened. It was like, no, that was the end result of me drinking way too much vodka. That was the end result of me being extremely self-destructive to the extent that so many of my friends thought I was going to die. They called me up crying because they were so worried about me. Some of them stopped associating with me altogether because they didn't want to be responsible, you know, if something did happen to me. So, yeah, like, it takes what it takes. But I think the reason why I was able to learn so quickly is because I have a lot of empathy. I think that if you're more of a narcissist, the chances of you figuring things out are slim to none. And I don't want to have that, I don't want to have that attitude, you know, because it's wrong to have that attitude. We shouldn't look at people like they're just total lost causes, you know, but a lot of people are. They really are, and they keep proving that. All for their loving friends and family to keep tolerating what they're doing. And, you know, that tolerance is killing them too. So, you know, my mother, she couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle the fact that I was making these decisions. But at the same time, like, she didn't want to do what my dad was willing to do, which was just kick me out of the house. But that was the best thing that ever happened. Like, him kicking me out of the house was a smart move on his part, but also, you know, it forced me to have to face myself and face the terrible decisions that I was making. And so I got kicked out of the house, and then my drinking got so bad at this other place where I was staying that I got kicked out of that house as well. And these were with people that I drank with, okay? Like, my best friend at the time kicked me out. because I couldn't keep a job, and I was stealing a bunch of shit, and yeah, shoplifting, all that. So yeah, I was just a horrible, horrible person. But it's good, though. It's good that alcohol taught me how bad I could be. Because if you're an alcoholic or you're any kind of addict, like if you are overindulging in something to the extent that it is nearly killing you, and you know it, everybody around you knows it, and if they don't, they will soon enough. I mean, what that means is that you've experienced some kind of trauma, but I think it also means that you're a passionate person. So you just need to redirect that to something positive. And, you know, the reason I make so many posters, the reason why I do so much content is because I'm just very, very passionate. Many women will gather that I'm a Sagittarius, and you are correct. Yeah, I think it's really fucking important that instead of just saying like, oh, I'm an addict, or I'm an alcoholic, or I have this disorder, I'm obsessive compulsive, I'm autistic, or whatever, it's like, when you say like, oh, I'm this label, or I have this disorder, it like puts all the responsibility onto that. Like, oh, I just have a disease. I have a disease. That's why I stole all that shit from you. I have a disease, you know? We don't have to have morality as long as we can just blame all of our bad behavior on a disorder, you know? Or some sort of mental condition. I think that with Alcoholics Anonymous, it is more of a spiritual condition. But I really don't like the term disease, because that makes it seem like we're defective just by existing. We're defective just by being human beings. Like, oh, I drank too much, now I have a disease. I mean, that's just stupid. It's stupid. It's illogical. But I can understand why a lot of them go that route, and it's because they're so afraid that if they don't label themselves that they're going to go back to abusing whatever they were abusing before. But if you have to gaslight yourself in order to not do something that's killing you, you might as well just go back to what was killing you. Because you're brain dead. You're brain dead. I think for a lot of them, they just don't want to go against the group. I had no problem doing that, though. That's why I had to leave. Amy Gross and group settings do not mix. Because I tend to be very oppositional to like whatever people are saying and doing. And it's not for the purpose of being oppositional. It's just, you know, mentally, I tend to be pretty repulsed by that. Because most of the time, what people do, what people go along with is not good for them, you know? I mean, psychiatric medication is such a fine example of that. You know, for the few people that it seems to work for, it's like, it's still just a fucking Band-Aid. You have to know that, dude. You have to know that. And so, for that reason alone, like me bitching about people on psychiatric medication, that's one of the reasons why I think it's so important for me to fast from drugs, because it is a little bit hypocritical for me to be bitching about people on psych meds and then be getting high. So I don't want to have to do that. I mean, I don't have to do that, but it's just become a little too much of a nuisance for me. Like, you know, it's become this routine, and I'm just tired of it. I'm bored with it. And so I want to see if I can get into a better routine. And if I do go back to drugs, and I'm sure I will, but if I do go back to that, I just want to have a healthier relationship with all these things that I've been doing, you know? And so, what is that saying? Absence makes the heart grow fonder? But does abstinence?